Why is it that most of us believe that we need a vocal booth in order to sound incredible, in order to be a professional voice actor? Why is it that after we read all of these interviews and see all of these videos with top voiceover artists, we think that we need one when they say they're recording in a walk-in closet or a small makeshift booth, especially when they're on vacation and stuff like that, and they land their gigs, they get work, and they're doing just fine? It's because of the sexification of a single term, vocal booth, that I kind of want to take today and strip back a little bit so I can hopefully save you a ton of money, because God knows intro level vocal booths are like $3,500 going all the way up to $10,000. So let's talk about that. Number one, what exactly is a vocal booth? Let's strip back that term vocal booth and call it what I used to call it when I was in college, an isolation room. An isolation room is just that. It's supposed to isolate single points of audio that you want to get away from other points of audio. So for example, let's say I'm recording a vocalist and an acoustic guitar, right? I don't want that vocalist and that acoustic guitar necessarily to bleed into those tracks. I'm not worried about the vocalist. I'm more so worried about the guitar. So I don't want that guitar to bleed into the vocalist track. So I would put the vocalist in an isolation room so that way after, when I'm mixing the song or whatever the project is, I can raise their level independently and not mess with the guitar. So I'm isolating them. That is what a vocal booth is. It is an isolation room. Now, it isolates sound from coming inside that room, but it's not necessarily already set to sound the best once you're in that room, and that's because of a couple of problems. The smaller of a space you're recording in, you're going to deal with certain things like standing waves, like phase cancellation. There's certain things that you're going to deal with that you just don't necessarily have to when you're in a bigger environment like the one that I'm in currently. So why is it that we think that we want it, that we think that we need it? Because we see a bunch of people with it. Hell, my most popular video on this channel is how I created a vocal booth for next to nothing, and it worked. It was a walk-in closet that got me a lot of money. That's not to say that vocal booths are useless, that you wasted your money or your time if you got one. It's simply to say this. A vocal booth is meant for cutting outside noise. So, for example, if you live on a busy road, you have a neighbor who's always mowing the lawn or blowing their leaves, something like that. Inside, you got kids, you got standing noise, anything of that nature. Then a vocal booth is going to come perfectly in handy. You're going to get in that sucker, close that door. Hopefully you have a hermetic seal or you have a full mass-loaded door or something like that. And you're not going to hear a lot of outside noise. It's soundproofed to a certain extent to make it so that outside noise cannot penetrate in and you get a cleaner recording. But if you're already in a clean canvas, got a nice quiet road, don't have kids or pets, no ambient noise, treat the room that you're in and it's going to end up a lot of times being a lot cheaper than if you go out and buy a brand new vocal booth. That's not just coming from me saying just go buy a bunch of foam and put it up, right? Treating a room is a science. Everything in audio is a science. That's the one thing that I take away from college. Everything about this is a science. So whether you hire a consultant to come in and show you the best way to put up your room or do your due diligence so that you figure out what the best way to treat your room is, 9 times out of 10, it's still going to be cheaper than actually getting a booth. Because like I said, intro prices on those are crazy. You're talking about $3,500 for a vocal booth. But at the end of the day, that's really it. It's not just about getting a vocal booth. That will not make you a professional. And a lot of the times, it can actually make you sound worse than if you're recorded in a wide open room because you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems.